De Bruyne's corner. Haaland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
I'm alive. Welcome back for another deadline stream. Good morning, everybody. How are we? I just realised then on the stream intro that I need to update Semenyo because he's still in the Bournemouth kit in the stream intro, so that needs doing. Anyone captain in Semenyo this week? I think captaincy is really interesting because obviously he's not in the Champions League squad for City, so I've seen a few people going there. I'm on Haaland still, but good morning everyone and welcome to the stream. Good to see lots of green usernames in the chat. Welcome everyone as well, members or not. Owen says, morning to all the Focal locals. Top Gun says, hello Oscar, good morning Top Gun. Man like Oscar says hello. How we doing David? Prince is here, Nat the One. We've got Captinio, we've got Ash, Anish taking the Tis, FPL Joe's here. Joe says absolutely the best intro of any deadline stream. Thank you very much, Joe. Yeah, I do like this stream intro and the intro song. It is an absolute belter. How are you finding things, Joe, with the channel? Are you planning to do any streams yourself, or are you sticking with videos for now? And are you planning to sort of scale up from one video per game week to multiple, or are you just kind of taking it slow? If anyone's not seen Joe's channel, go check him out. Absolutely brilliant content. Like, I'm always looking on YouTube at what other people are doing, and obviously there's lots of new channels that pop up, but FPL Joe popped up and I was so impressed by the quality of his animations and his edits and everything and the commentary. And if you like my content, then you'll definitely like Joe's. I think it's probably the one channel I've seen that resembles my content style, like faceless content. I think he scripts what he's going to say, which is what I do. So I was just really impressed by his channel, so check him out if you've not seen FPL Joe. And he's having a great season as well. I think he's like 29k. Tim says he's watching from the tattoo parlor. Wish me luck. Best of luck, Tim. He's getting is it called a sleeve when it's on your leg? What's it called when you get a sleeve on your leg? He's getting a trouser. He's getting a pants. He's getting his whole leg done anyway. So yeah, good luck with that. What's it like? 40 hours, Tim, that you're gonna have to be in the parlor. Joe says he's just hit 700 subscribers. What a week. Absolutely blown away. And I've got a second video this week. A Gameweek 24 wildcard special coming this week. There we go. Look forward to seeing that. And El Sonia Lump, thank you for becoming an FPL Focal member. A stocking. It's not called... A leg sleeve. Is that actually what it's called? A leg sleeve. That just sounds weird though, because you don't have sleeves on your legs. Anyway, he's getting his whole leg done. He's getting a leg sleeve. You're just here for the Liverpool news. I'll have some Liverpool news to share during this stream, definitely. So whenever I share that, I'll put it in the bottom left corner as always in the leaks widget. I guess the big ones are Liverpool, Man City, right? Big talking point this week. Like, does Pep finally change things around? Like, Foden has started every game since Game Week 4. And I posted a whole thread on Twitter a few days ago about Foden and why I'm thinking of selling. And in my team selection video on Wednesday, I said I'm planning to do Foden to Enzo. And I just think I'm going to do that. I'm doing that move. So Foden to Enzo's happening. And that'll be it for this week. Congrats on 700 to Joe. Love you, Oscar. I'm from Jordan. A stocking sleeve. Finally got a job. It's about time I became a member. Triple captain Thiago. No, I'll be saving triple captain for a double game week. Definitely saving it. It's the one chip that's got to go in a double game week for me in the second half of the season. The triple captain. 2 rolls of the dice. Who are we selling to bring Bruno? It'll be Gakpo to Bruno, and then Ekatike to Krupi, and then probably Bar to Mbumo. That's what I'm looking at for Game Week 24. This week, Foden to Enzo, so sticking to the plan basically. Do you reckon Gueye plays? Yeah, Pep said he will, so Gueye looks great actually. Has anyone had Gueye in their team from when he was at Palace and you've still got him as a City asset? I think he's really good, and he's actually fallen to 5.2 mil. I could see myself owning him before the season's over. Like 5.2 for a nailed route into the City defence is great. Well, I know he won't be great for Defcons, but... morning Skip, how we doing? Is Garner a good cheap option? Yeah, Garner's great. He's hit Defcon in like 7 games in a row, hasn't he? How's Teddy? He's actually literally on my lap right now. He might re-emerge later, but he's on my lap under the desk. It's his favourite spot to chill when I'm doing videos or streaming like now. He just sits on my lap under the desk. Yeah, Garner's good. In terms of the best cheap mids, I mean, who do you guys think are the best enablers right now? Like, for me, I still think Lefay is maybe number 1. He's good for the next 2 game weeks, and then you want to bench him. So it depends if you need him for these 2. Arsenal, Liverpool. Dewsbury Hall is just back from injury now, so he'll be in the squad. And I don't know if he'll start straight away, but I think he's really good for whatever he is, 4.9, 4.8. There's Stack, but he missed last game injured. Yeah, there's quite a few good options. Hector says 11th starter Mane or Gudmundsson for Leeds. I wouldn't want to play Mane against City, so I would play Gudmundsson if I were you. Lefay the GOAT. Honestly, Josh, if he'd buried that penalty, he would have been... Actually, I don't know if he would have been favourite player of the season, because Mukiele's been unbelievable for me. Who's your favourite player of the season so far, guys? Have you got like one player who's been just sort of coming clutch for you regularly compared to others that you've owned? Who's that one player for you? Yeah, Ryan Nildo, 3.8 mil is ridiculous. Back from AFCON, so he'll be starting games. He's bad for DEFCON, but, you know, if you just have him for your bench in emergencies, that's fine. You could start him in the next couple. Yeah, Thiago, to be fair. Yeah, Thiago. I bought him... Where was it? It was like so early. I think it was here, Game Week 11 I bought him. I bought him that game and I was like, I don't know if he's going to do much against Newcastle, but... I don't know, I just had a feeling about him. Oh God, can you remember at the time, guys? I was looking at Minte and Thiago, and that felt really 50-50 at the time. Like, the algorithms were loving Minte, and Thiago hadn't done that much up until that point. Like, he'd done okay. He was on like 6 goals or something. And that was really close. And I ended up just going Thiago because I said, if nothing else, he's on pens. And he ended up ripping it up. And he's definitely been a huge one for me this season because he went 2 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals. And then he started blanking for ages. But then there was the hat-trick against Everton, the brace against Sunderland. I think actually, yeah, he'd have to be number 1. Love your streams. Thank you, Top Gun. Appreciate that. FPL Bateman in the chat. Message retracted. Didn't see what that said. Hopefully something nice. Agreed on the intro. Ace, says Ash. The real deadline stream is here. Good morning, Jay. How we doing? Does Gakpo start? Well, if he doesn't, I'll be selling him. I'd have to sell him for Bruno if he doesn't start. I should have Liverpool news for you very shortly anyway in this stream, so I'll let you know whatever that is. Do you reckon Haaland starts? So let's talk about City. So I was just browsing Twitter right before going live, and I saw this tweet from Rob T. Market odds final update. So final update on the betting markets ahead of the deadline. So you get a little bit of movement, like Forest are down 0.05, Bournemouth up 0.05, Brentford. City minus 0.25, 0.25. Now that could just be like they had bad form midweek, something like that. Or bad form recently in general. Or it could be that they've got some kind of early lineup news that's caused City's odds to plummet. For me, there's no way I don't captain Haaland unless there's some kind of news. I just wouldn't want to take that risk. And then there's FPL Mass, who's been the number 1 for predicted City lineups this season, and he's got Haaland, Foden, and O'Reilly starting. And he's saying if Doku and Ake aren't fit to start, this will be his predicted lineup with O'Reilly at left back. So I've got O'Reilly back in my team. He'd been in my team earlier in the week as well, and he can play left back or in midfield. So I just think I'll give him one more chance in the team, home to Wolves. Foden, I don't know, and Haaland, I don't know. What do you guys think? And Cherky as well. Like this game week is such a headache. I've been going mad, honestly, trying to figure out the City team. And I said in my team selection video, I'm going to do Foden to Enzo because I just want to remove a little bit of risk from my team. And I think, in theory, if Foden and Enzo both start, I don't think Enzo is significantly worse than Foden. I think he would be on paper a bit worse, but I'm going to do that. And yeah, and Dye's nice as well. I think I prefer Enzo. I wouldn't want to miss out on Chelsea's run of games. Like if we look at projected goals for the next 5, they're top in the league. Palace away, they've just lost Gw23. One of the worst defences over the last 6 game weeks, 3rd worst. Then they got West Ham home, Wolves away, Leeds home, Burnley home. Yeah, Marmish is back from AFCON. I can try and find it. I posted a thread earlier in the week, which I won't read the whole thing, but I just kind of... Where was it? There was a whole long ramble here about Foden and City and where I'm at with them, and I just basically came to the conclusion that I'll do Foden to Enzo. Because it's just, I don't know, there's so many uncertainties. Like, Reinders and Marmish in the equation. Semenyo wasn't registered in the Champions League squad, so he has to start. Doku got a rest, but he had a knock, so there's a good chance he'd start. Cherky was benched last game. He was the one player, really, that played okay for City. O'Reilly as well, actually. So he has to start as well, in theory. So, I don't know, does Foden fit into that? I think, I don't know. Weighing everything up, I think it's risky, so... Your voice is class. So I'd rather just remove the risk from myself and sell him. But it's one of those that could massively backfire. Yeah. Offer's still open that I'll find your website when I win the lottery. I'll take you up on that. Mukiele should start over Timber. I haven't got Timber. Do you mean Gabriel? There's no way I'm starting Mukiele over Gabriel. Maybe Van Dijk. I think that's 50-50. Oh, sorry, I missed some chats here. 13 Killing says, "Hi Oscar, my team is in shambles. Raya, Gabriel, Anderson, O'Reilly, Dorgu, Saka, Rogers, Foden, Zoboslai, Haaland, Thiago, Kanate, Tavernier, Gu. A -8? No. Why is it suggesting a -8? What? Why don't you just do Foden to Enzo? And just leave it at that? I mean, selling Saka for a -8 is crazy to me. If you do Foden to Enzo, can you afford Zoboslai to Bruno in 24? I'd probably just do that if I were you. And if you have to take a hit for Bruno in 24, that's fine. But you don't need to take a -8 this week. I would just do that one move and leave it at that. Like maybe if you can't afford that in one move in 24, then you downgrade Tavernier to even cheaper and Zoboslai to Bruno for a hit, and then you fix 2 problems in your team. Doesn't need a hit, doesn't need a -8. Matthew, thanks for the 39 months. You're 1.6k in the world. I don't normally do IDs, so I have to say to anyone else, please don't chuck your ID, just purely because it's a bit messy to find people's teams off the ID. But let's see. So you've got... Yeah, so you've got Bruno G, who's flagged. You've got Nunes as well. Got Dorgu, Foden. What have you got in the bank? You could do something like... You've got 3 million in the bank. So can you afford Bruno G to Bruno? Bruno G's alright though, isn't he? I'd probably do Foden to Bruno if I were you. Bruno G or Foden to Bruno is what I would do if I were you. I guess it'd have to be Bruno G to Bruno Fernandes. Just do the Bruno swap. Right, let me flick over to chat again. I've lost it all. Let's stick a captain poll up. Let's see where everyone's at. Who's your captain? So, Haaland. Who are the options? Saka? Thiago? Other? Mark says, what do I do now? 1 free transfer, 1 million. Ride Dubravka, Gabriel, Kukureya, Van Dijk, Estev, Keane, Cherki, Enzo, Saka, Anderson, Tavernier, Ekitike, Haaland, Gu. Looks like a roll to me. So you play Gabriel, Kukureya, Van Dijk. 4 in midfield. Yeah, so you play 4-4-2 and roll. Doesn't need a transfer this week, Mark. You bench Estev, you bench Keane, and you bench... Oh, sorry, hang on. So... It's just whether you... Yeah, I think I would... It's just whether you sell Keane or Estev or not. Because I think the 2 free transfers could be really, really important in 24. I think I would roll, Mark, if I were you, and play 4-4-2 and start Estev. And then in 24, you bring in Bruno, and maybe you fix Tavernier at the same time. I'm not sure exactly how you'd do it. It could be Cherki to Bruno in 24 and Tavernier down to a cheaper mid. Something like that. Or actually maybe Ekitike to Thiago in 24. Yeah, I would roll, Mark. I know like it's not ideal playing as Stev, but I think in theory you should gain more in 24. What's your transfer plans? I'm doing Foden to Enzo. And one thing I will say, I don't do anything until near the deadline, just in case there's some leaks. I don't even know what I would do if there's a leak. I think I would keep Haaland, even if there was a leak he was benched. The problem is this season, the premiums just aren't doing it. Like, it's not like Salah was smashing it before he went to AFCON, and you'd be happy to go Haaland to a cheap forward and then bring in Salah. And it's not like, I mean, Palmer could be good. What would you guys do if there's a leak that Haaland doesn't start within the next, well, hour 40 minutes before the deadline? I think I would just leave him in the team. But the point is, we might get something, we might not. They've got the 3 PM kickoff, I think, so it's not impossible. You just bench him, yeah. I think you just bench him. Yeah, I would just wait till as near the deadline as possible to do something. It is what it is. The leaks are such a huge part of the game now, and it's why I think at least half of you are watching right now, because you're hoping there's going to be some team news that could potentially benefit your team. So just based on that, don't do any early moves. You've made it so this close to the deadline. There's no price changes before the deadline, so wait until near the deadline, just in case there is some news. So I've got Saka vice captain. I'm actually just thinking out loud what I would do. If I guess I'd stick with Saka and go Thiago vice. What's the captain poll saying? 2% Saka, 7% Thiago. Maybe I'm making a mistake on Saka. I think Saka starts, by the way. I'm pretty confident on that. It's a good turn. It was Tuesday to Saturday turnaround, so I'm not worried about it. And he was benched last game week. Connor says, last chance to captain Haaland today. I've also taken a -4 hit. Saka to Rice and then Foden to Bruno. I might even take a punt at captain Rice against Leeds next week. What do you think? He just doesn't feel like captain material, Rice. Like, he has got a haul in him, but is he captain material? Who's Haaland got next week? Tottenham away. I think honestly I'll end up captain Haaland away at Spurs, but it's not terrible home to Leeds. Is it at home? No, it's away. You didn't say home. I made that up. Yeah, I think I'd rather go Haaland away at Spurs than Rice away at Leeds. But yeah, it looks good. Siva, thank you very much for the super chat with no message. Did you mean to say something? Nothing in chat. Mosiah says, Foden to Semenyo and captain him. I wouldn't do that personally unless there's news that Foden's benched or Haaland doesn't start. I prefer Enzo, I think, as a Foden replacement, but Semenyo's not bad, actually. And is Semenyo definitely nailed long term? The next 2 league games, he definitely is, because he's not in the Champions League squad. Longer term, I don't know. Because he's been playing right. He can play left wing as well, to be fair, so it might depend on Doku, but there's a bit too much uncertainty for me, but it's not bad. It's not bad, to be fair. Yeah, I think that's fine. Tazlor, thank you for the 15 months. He says, hi Oscar, do I bench boost? I've got Keller, Hermani, Rogers and Alderete. No, I think I would save the bench boost. That is a pretty solid bench though, but I think I would save it if I were you. Personally, I'd rather just wait and see how the double game weeks land and see if there's a better week later in the future. That is a strong bench. However, yeah, I would save the bench boost for the double game week season a bit later. Blake says, bench 2 out of Mukiele, Chow and Rogers. I think I'd start Mukiele there. What's the clean sheet odds say? I guess Newcastle's will be better than Sunderland's though. Newcastle 28%. Oh, it's 1% difference. I think I would bench. Can't bench Rogers though. When it's that close, I tend to just favour the attacker, so I would bench the 2 defenders and start Rogers. You'd just be so pissed, wouldn't you, if you bench Rogers and then he goes and scores, and he has got higher upside than Mukiele and Chow. I know Mukiele and Chow have produced double-digit hauls, but Rogers has done it more times, so I'd rather start Rogers. And if Bruno G is out, then that's a massive loss. That'd be a massive, massive loss for Newcastle. I'm not sure if they'll risk him. He went off with an ankle injury in the Champions League. Porto, thanks for the 21 months. He says, I felt bad. The last 5 game weeks is awful, down to 3.8 million. Hang in there, Paulo. The season is long. There's a long, long way to go. I know you're not alone. A lot of people have had a frustrating season, or especially like the last month. Or especially December as well. December was meant to be like the best time of the year because there's game weeks quick together. You can rise up the ranks fast, but it's not played out like that. For me as well, like, I think I only went down in rank over the December winter period. How's everyone doing rank-wise right now? What's everyone's ranks? Live ranks in the chat. Mukiele carried me last week. It would have been a brutal red, but Mukiele and Lefay. So I got the Lefay goal, Mukiele assist last week. Both differentials. 160k, very nice. 300k, 1.4k, 35k, 175k, 1 mil, 50k. What's your plan with O'Reilly long term? I'm definitely selling him soon. He's just way too much of a risk now with 8 Nori back in the equation. Even when 8 Nori wasn't in the equation, he was a risk. Like 45 minutes, 17, played 90 there, 56. He was so good before that. But now he's not. So he's got to go. And maybe, I'm not sure who I'll get. Maybe Munoz if I can afford it. Yeah, I'm sticking to the plan from the team selection video. So Foden to Enzo. 2 million, 300k, 13th in the world. 13th in the world. If you're not in the Focal League, get in the Focal League with that rank, because I think we've slipped on the mini league world rankings. Yeah, we're the 4th best league in the world. Let's have a look at the overall ranks. We actually haven't looked at it all season. Let's see who's first right now and how far ahead they are. Oh my god, I'm out of all the cups. What? I'm out of the Arsenal Cup. I'm out of the England Cup. I'm out of the overall Cup. I'm out of the top 1% Cup. I'm out of the Sky Sports Cup. Oh, mate, season over. Where's the overall ranks? Where is it? I've forgotten how to check the overall leagues. Am I being blind? Overall. Oh, there it is. Matt Chamberlain is on 1,000. Ah, yeah, it's not going to fit. If I do that, is that any better? 1,400. He bench boosted though. 1,492 points. 1,490 points. That is crazy. So they are. He's 150 points ahead of me already. And you're 13th in the world. I don't believe you. Is that you? Oh wait, I think you could be. Didn't you have LO in your username? Luca. Fair play. Are you in the Focal League though? You're not. Caught in 4K. If anyone wants to join the Focal League, the code is it's DDQIOU. I'll put it in the chat actually. DDQIOU. There you go. Right. Bellman, thank you for the 3 months. He says, hi Oscar in chat. What leaks could we get? Liverpool, I'll have some Liverpool news for you soon. City, don't know. Potentially City as well. Who else is playing? Let me check. I think that's probably it. Don't think we'll get anything for these other teams. Yeah, I think that's potentially it. But I mean, those would be 2 huge ones if we do get news on them. Ash, thank you for the 30 months. Bruno, G and Gu to Ndai and Thiago -4. Thiago captain. I like the moves. I don't know about Thiago captain. It's one of those, like if Haaland doesn't start, then it's such a huge upside captaincy this week. It's like, it's probably the highest risk, highest reward captaincy that we've had in a long, long time if you go against Haaland this week. And I have to say, I'm not as confident in the Haaland start as I have been recently. like on merit, he should be benched, but Haaland started against Exeter in the Cup, didn't he? And I just think that made no sense when Pep was saying Haaland's exhausted. So I just wonder if Haaland's saying to him, like, start me, because he wants the stat pad. That's a bit disrespectful to Exeter, but it did end like 10-1, didn't it? So I'm wondering if Haaland said to him, nah, start me this game. So I'm wondering if Haaland is such a huge player in the team, he's almost got to say whether he starts or not. But it's so hard to predict this week. I think there could be some upsets this week, but I'm not going against Haaland captain unless there's some news during the stream. So we'll have to monitor that, and I will keep an eye on any team news and leaks. Definitely, I'll have Liverpool news for you, but City, no idea. We'll have to see what comes out in the next hour and a half. Did Tom roll? Tom is rolling, yeah. For him, it was just basically a decision whether to play Foden or Cherki or Mukiele. Sorry, it's 2 out of those 3. So he's starting Foden or Cherki or Mukiele, 2 of those 3. But he was planning to roll, yeah. Why are you benching Mukiele? I mean, who would you guys start, Mukiele or Van Dijk? I think that's actually quite close. Liverpool are the top defence in the league for expected goals conceded last 6. It's not really materialised, but they have been solid and they've been a bit unlucky. You play Mukiele? The fake captain shout, who says no? Mate, that is the ultimate differential captain this week. Joker Dan, thank you for 4 months. He says, worst month in FPL ever. Foden, Bruno, Haaland, Thiago. I mean, that looks fine. Those 4 players look fine to me this week. You could sell Foden, but Bruno, Haaland and Thiago are fine to hold. Have you seen FPL Main Road's post? I haven't. What did he write? I really hope anyone who might get City team news refrains from leaking it until at least 11:01. You will get just as many interactions and you also gain an advantage on FPL. Just reading the replies. Nothing really there. No. I mean, yeah, if I hear anything then I'll share it, but he's like the main guy, isn't he? So maybe we won't get anything. But I'll definitely have Liverpool news to share with you soon. Raphael says Tavernier / Nunez and Dye / cheap defender or Munoz and Anderson. Oh, I see what you're saying. I would say the first option, so Ndai and a cheap defender. Depends how much you can afford on a cheap defender. I still think Mukiele's great, as long as you can bench him against Arsenal and Liverpool. Because then you get West Ham away, Burnley home, Fulham home in the next 5. I mean, Alderete for like 0.3, 0.4 million cheap is great as well. Yeah, is anyone buying Ndai? Like, he's back from AFCON. Grealish is injured, so he's going to be playing in his favoured left-wing position. He's on pens. He's got lead time. I think he's really nice as well, as an Enzo alternative. I think they're both super close. Bobby is online. Thank you for the 28 months as well. I've just seen a message from my mate. Oscar, you look knackered. I couldn't get to sleep last night. I probably fell asleep at like 1 a.m. Thank you very much for that. Do I look knackered? Yeah, I couldn't get to sleep till like 1. I must have been gone 1, and then I had to wake up super early to get ready for the stream. Oh dear. What was the question? Bobby said Bruno G and Tavernier for Semenyo and Lefay or Wirtz. No, I wouldn't buy Wirtz, I don't think. I feel like that boat has sailed. Too hyped over Traitors. Honestly, Traitors was unbelievable. You do look a bit tired. Traitors was so good. Semenyo and Lefay. Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. Go for it, Bobby. I prefer Enzo Lefay, but Semenyo's great. Like, we know he's definitely going to start the next 2. Abdullah says, I've got 4 from Man City. Donnarumma, Gueye, Foden and Haaland. Which one should I sell and to who? Well, I've been looking at Foden to Enzo all week, so I'm going to stick with that. So he's the one I would sell out of those. I think, yeah, double City defence isn't ideal either, but I wouldn't want to spend a keeper transfer, really. Unless you're not on triple Arsenal, then at some point you could do Donnarumma to Raya. That's fine. But when they're home to Wolves, it's not the week to sell either of the two defensive assets there. So Foden if I was selling one. Strike says benches are Riley and Bruno G. Recommend and die for Bruno G. Yeah, unless you haven't got Enzo and you can afford him. I like him even more. But yeah, and Dye's great. We were just talking about him because he's back from AFCON. He's going to play in his favoured position, left wing, on pens. He won't be as good for DEFCON's left wing, you'd imagine, in theory, but he's great. He can be quite streaky. Like, he does go through these patches where he doesn't get anything, or you know, he might get like 1 assist in 6 game weeks, but he can also go for these runs where he, you know, he gets like 3 goals, 2 assists in 4 game weeks. So he's just one of those you want to catch at the right time. And they do have Leeds home. We'll have to see if Dewsbury Hall comes in as well, because that's massive. Dewsbury Hall returning is massive for their attack. And all round, really. So he'll be the one that will come in back as a 10. So he's really nice. But I don't know if he's going to start straight away on his return from injury. He might do. But he's a risky buy this week. But he's a great enabler from 24. Will my current points update in the Focal League if I join, Oscar? Yeah, your points will start from the beginning of the season. If anyone joins the Focal League now. DDQIOU is the code. Yeah, I did watch Traitors. Very, very good finale. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I won't give any spoilers because some people might not have watched it, but it was really good. FPL Mika, 1 free transfer, 1.5 mil on the bank. Palmer and Bruno G to start. But only Mukiele, Stack and O'Reilly on the bench. Do I roll or transfer in Bruno or Enzo or others this week? I mean, that bench looks good to me. If you can do Bruno G to Enzo, for me that's worth it. Newcastle's fixtures aren't as good now. And he's a doubt. So, I would do that if I were you. Your bench is so good that you could just play Mukiele, but I think you get Enzo. Quite close though. Enzo and Mukiele are pretty close this week. Did anyone see Enzo's goal that got ruled out in the Champions League? Seemed a bit harsh. I think it was a push in the back, the ref said. My mates are having a debate in the group chat now. Because one said, you look knackered, Oscar. Another one said, don't speak about my boy like that. And he said, I think he looks lovely. Thank you, mate. Cherky or Semenyo? I mean, it's got to be Semenyo between the two. Because he's nailed on to start at least the next couple, because he's not in the Champions League squad. What's your transfer plans? It's going to be Foden to Enzo. Ekatike, captain against the depleted Bournemouth. I just think he might come off early. Is Guay definitely getting his debut? Yeah, Pep said he'll play. So he'll come straight in, left centre back. What are we saying this game week, guys? King of the game week. It was Dorgu last week, who nobody got. Predictions for this game week. Top scoring player. I'm actually going to go Semenyo, I think. It's got to be the fixture where City turn it around, surely, and we see a response. And he's nailed on to start. Yeah, I've seen that, Alex. My chat's actually frozen, so I can't see the guesses. Oh, it's just caught up. Verts, Guay, Bruno, and Dye. Foden, Haaland, Tarkowski. It'll be Enzo. Mane. If it's Mane against City, I'll be gobsmacked. Salah, Sharda, Saka. Did anyone have Dorgu on their bench for that one last week? Cucurella, Brobby, Chow. Yeah, I'm going to go Semenyo this week. That'll be my prediction. If it's Foden, I wouldn't be surprised. Don't say that. Enzo hat-trick. I had Enzo early in the season and he was so frustrating because he was producing such good numbers, but I just think I cannot go through these next 5 game weeks that Chelsea have got without at least one attacker. And Palmer, I just don't think he's worth whatever he is, 10.3 million. We can play around with transfers here. I could do something like Ekatike to Krupi in Game Week 24, and then that frees up money for Gakpo to Palmer and Foden to Bruno. So that actually is quite nice. But I think I would rather go with the Foden to Enzo move. And then in 24, Gakpo to Bruno. I mean, I'll have 4 free transfers, so then I could do Ekatike to Krupi. And then I'll have enough money to finally get rid of Bar for Mbumo. I think that looks really good for 24. It's a little bit risky on Mbumo. Like, does he keep playing striker, or how do they all fit in? Or if Sesko comes in striker, where does Mbumo and Ahmad fit into the 11? If anyone's a Man United fan, I welcome your thoughts on that. Like, is Mbumo nailed? He has to be, but then does Ahmad miss out? Or does Ahmad go left wing, and then Dorgu misses out? Why do you prefer Krupi over Mane? Yeah, it's really close, because Wolves are expected to double in 26, potentially. And he's getting better minutes, but I like Krupi's fixtures a bit more. Tavernier's out, so I actually think Krupi could even be on pens. And Mbumo's nailed. Sesko misses out. They can't miss out every game, surely. They might want his height against Arsenal. I won't be surprised if he starts this one. And Mbumo is nailed. Okay, well, that's reassuring. So what are you saying? Like, Ahmad could miss out here and there, or is Sesko now just going to be on the bench every game? Because that can't happen, surely. He was their big summer signing. He'll play Dorgu's position. Yeah, okay. So Ahmad would move to the left. So then Cunha still misses out. Or maybe it could be games where Sesko misses out, Cunha starts on the left, because he's generally better drifting in from the left side, Dorgu's position. Anyway, I just think a double Man United mid could be really good. Like, if we're about to see a new manager bounce, and they've got some pretty good games from 24, I really like the idea of doing that and spending all 4 transfers. Or 3 transfers. I love them. FPL Rubber Ducky in the chat says, quack quack. Love the dedication to the bit. You can only speak in quacks. Nicky Wilson says, morning Oscar. Anderson, Krimpin or Mukiele to start in your opinion? Is that Frimpong? Did you correct that in the chat? What's crimping? Frimpong, yeah. I would say Frimpong out of all of those. He's got to be the highest upside of all of them, because there's reasonable clean sheet odds, but he's so attacking as well, so I would say Frimpong. Kano says, my god, I need City leaks. I don't suppose there'll be anything this early, but let's have a quick look. No. Do Foden to Bruno. I can't afford it. It's Foden to Enzo. Or stick with Foden for me. If I could afford it, I'd consider it, but surely Enzo is better than Bruno this week, no? What transfers are you guys making? Let us know in the chat. What transfers is everyone making this week? If any, or are you rolling? Prince, how we doing? He says, morning Oscar. My team is Raya, Gabriel, Hall, Mukiele, Lefay, Zobo, Saka, Foden, Ekitike, Haaland, and Thiago. Benches Dubravka, Rutter, Anderson, and Rodon. If no Foden leak, I'll roll. Is my starting 11 okay? Yep, looks good. And then you do Foden to Bruno in 24. And Zobo to Enzo, maybe if you can afford those two moves together in 24. That looks really good, Prince, yeah. Shout out to Stonehouse as well, who's tuning in with Izzy. Hope you're well, mate. Foden is pregnant. What? Yeah, looks good, Prince. Chris says, hi Oscar, Zobo to Ndai. Yeah, I like Ndai. I like Enzo even more, but Ndai's great. We were talking about him earlier in the stream because he's going to play in left wing, which is his best position, I think. He's going to be on pens. He's got Leeds home, so Ndai's great. If you can afford Enzo, I like him even more, just based on the next 5 fixtures. But yeah, Ndai's great. I like the Ndai pick a lot. 4 City players in my team. Yeah, so what moves? How are we doing, Joachim? Voltamada to Thiago, I like that. Saka to Bruno. Bash has gone Saka to Bruno, interesting. Bruno G to Ndai, I like that, that's good. Bruno G to Enzo, yeah, I rate that. Enzo may get rested. Is that actually possible? I was looking at the Chelsea predicted lineups and they all, I think they had 100% were saying Enzo starts. Yeah, that is the only thing with Enzo, right? He played in the Champions League, and I think he played 90. And they've got a huge game against Napoli away next game week, where he has to start. So it's just a lot of games he'd play if he starts against Palace. But yeah, that's the only caveat. I guess that lends weight to Ndai a little bit. It's close between them. I just think maybe it could end up... I think he starts, but even if it was like one of those where he ends up coming off the bench, overall, if you look at the next 5 game weeks compared side by side to Ndai, it's worth having him. Bear says Captain Haaland, Semenyo, Foden, Rice, Gabriel, Ballard. For me, it's Haaland. I can't not Captain Haaland when he's home to the team that's bottom in the league. The Captain widget on the Focal app has got Haaland top 5 stars, and then it's Saka. And then it's Salah, then it's Thiago, and then it's Semenyo. So I'm sticking with that as well, Haaland captain. Unless there's some news during the stream. I'm definitely going to be all over Twitter when we near the deadline. Because if I see some really suspicious stuff, like people aren't captaining Haaland, then... I don't know. I don't know what I'll do then. Because then people will think that I know something. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine there's like some big accounts that randomly aren't captaining Haaland. Then what do you do? Like, if I hear that Haaland doesn't start, then I'll tell you guys and I'll put it in the bottom left corner. But like, imagine someone reliable doesn't captain Haaland. You'd think that's really odd. Because is that a robe? No, it's a jumper. Get rid of that. Is Semenyo not good long term? He potentially could be. He's good for the next couple game weeks at least, but longer term, don't know, because there's Cherky for competition. He's got Cherky for competition right wing, he's got Doku for competition left wing. But for the next couple game weeks, he's great. Did you have Rooney for that game back in 2010? I don't know. That was before I started playing, actually. I think... When was the first season you guys started playing FPL? I think for me it was 2013-14. But in the 2009-10 season, Rooney got the biggest score of all time, which was 64 points. It was a double game week, and he had... I'm trying to remember who it was. I think he had like Norwich and Hull. I think in one game he got like 2 goals, 1 assist, and then against Hull he scored 4 goals and he got 32 points. That was before the triple captainship existed though, so no one could have triple captained it. So technically the most points anyone's ever got from one player will be... Is it Salah who's got the second biggest score? I think Salah's got 31, hasn't he? So some people would have got like 93 from Salah before in one from one game week. Imagine that. Imagine getting 93 from one player. I'm not sure if I've even scored 93 points in total in a game week this season. 2006-7, that we go. That's a veteran there. 2021, 2008, very nice. 2017, 2021, this season, 16-17. 2012-13. I think 2012-13 was my first. That might have been the Michu season. I remember having Michu when he was at Swansea, and he was unbelievable. He scored like 18 league goals, and they ended up winning the League Cup as well, Swansea. Goran says, I'm on a wild card. Should I go Guehi and Raya or Sanchez and Timber? I've got Chalobah, Dorky, Mukiele, Gabriel. I prefer Guehi, Raya, definitely. Timber's really good. I have this very slight doubt in my head. Maybe at some point he misses one. It might not matter, but Raya is also significantly cheaper. So I think right now I'm actually really happy with the Arsenal triple up I'm on. I'm still okay with Saka over Rice. Whereas Michu now, he retired. So he ended up getting a bad knee injury and he retired early. But yeah, he even made the Spain squad because of how good his season at Swansea was. I did a video on it and he said like that was his favourite ever season. Because it was just like absurd how good he was. And he had the iconic celebration. He ended up returning to his home club back in Spain. I can't remember the name of them, and then he retired, but all things considered, like, legendary career. C-Max says, morning Oscar, I'm a Villa fan, but I'm torn on who to start between Chow and Rodgers. I would start Rodgers. Like, if Bruno G's out, he's a huge miss, and when it's close I tend to favour the attacker, so I would say Rodgers. So, Liverpool team news. What does this say? For those that are wanting Liverpool news, it's... unchanged. So what was the Champions League lineup? Unchanged. So Gakpo benched. I'm going to have to sell Gakpo. What's the lineup in the Champions League? Alisson, Kirkes, Van Dijk, Gomez, Frimpong, McAllister, Gravenberch, Zoboslai, Wirtz, Ekitike and Salah. So Salah starts again. Zoboslai starts then. Ekitike, Wirtz. No, Gakpo. Alright, let me put that in the corner. As always, it's never 100%, but like, remember I said the 11 last week and it was bang on. So that means Ekitike, Zobo, Wirtz and Salah. Oh. So I'm going to have to let me just work out a plan. So Foden to Enzo is happening. Gakpo to Bruno. Oh, got 0.1 million. Oh my god. So that's what I'm doing. Did Bruno go up last night? I think he did. Yeah. So he's 9.3 million. Mukiele went up, Semenyo went up, Mbeumo went up, Tarkowski, Wilson, Gordon went down. So I'm going to have to sell Gakpo on that, and I'll tweet about it nearer the deadline. But, well, I'll have to when I post my team, because it doesn't make sense to sell Gakpo otherwise, so I definitely will mention it. Oh, Gakpo's been like the worst. Gakpo's been the worst punt of all time. I bought him for Burnley. I mean, to be fair, he won a penalty, and Zoboslai rattles it off the crossbar when he'd buried 20 out of 21 before that. So 2-pointer from Gakpo, and then he's straight back out. Imagine Salah. I don't know if it'll happen, but imagine Salah becomes FPL relevant again. Because like Haaland's in such a horrible patch of form. That would be really interesting for the 10 play. Because right now it's like, it's basically Haaland and 10 others, isn't it? Well, what was the effective ownership like last week? I feel like it's almost a 9-player game. Top 10k. Let's have a look at that. So it was Gabriel was 73.8% EO. Thiago 65. Foden, Ekitike, Rodgers, Rice, Saka, Bruno G, Wilson. God, I didn't realise Bruno G was so high EO. If he doesn't play, that could be handy because of that injury. Or at least Ekitike plays. I was actually worried. I was worried that Ekitike wouldn't play because I thought Gakpo would. That unchanged from Champions League, not Premier League. Let me actually double check that. I'm pretty sure it's Champions League. Yeah, Champions League. So it'll be Foden to Enzo, Gakpo to Bruno. I missed a few messages, sorry, let me scroll up. Mina says, morning, would you start Dubravka over Verbruggen? I would start Verbruggen, I think. I mean, are Burnley really going to keep a clean sheet? I know it's Spurs, but I'd rather back Brighton, who are a much better defence than Burnley are. Burnley are literally the worst defence for XGC, so I don't think I'd feel comfortable starting Dubravka. I would rather start Verbruggen personally. What's the clean sheet odds say on that? They're not great for either. Oh, it's actually a 1% difference. Brighton 22%, Burnley 21%. I'd rather Verbruggen. It's only 1% there, but Brighton have got the away fixture, Burnley home, but Brighton 1% better. So it's a coin toss basically. When it's that close, if you've got a gut feeling about either keeper, just go with it. But for me, my answer would be Verbruggen. They might both concede realistically based on those odds. Glasshouse says, do I swap O'Reilly for Guay, Senesi or Tarkowski? O'Reilly to Guay, potentially a bit sideways. I guess Guay's, we know he's going to start. O'Reilly's not a certainty, but I probably wouldn't do that this week. I wouldn't do it this week. I think 24 is such a crucial week that stuff like that isn't worth doing when you've got Chelsea to target in 24. You potentially want to sell, if you've got like a Foden or a Cherky in 24, you want to buy Bruno maybe or Mbumo. You might want to sell Ekitike in 24. There's just too many other moves than doing O'Reilly to like a Senesi this week. One of those could end up doing well. Maybe all three do, but I don't think I'll do that this week. Adam said, sorry, so yeah, that was to answer Adam's question. DNK, thank you for becoming a member as well. Thank you very much for that. Why Lafay over Mukiele? I think that's a coin toss as well. And like I said earlier, I just tend to favour the attacker when it's that close. Yeah, I think that's really close because Lafay's got the goal assist potential. Like maybe a penalty again, assuming he's still on them. Mukiele, there's the clean sheet potential. He gets a very, very occasional goal involvement, but it's very rare and it's not something you'd count on either. But I don't know, who would you guys start, Mukiele or Lafay? Let's end that poll. This is the most niche poll ever, but maybe I'm missing something here. Mukiele or Lafay to start? Poll is up. Should I start Gw? Yeah, definitely start Gw if you've got him. City are top of the clean sheet odds this week, so I would definitely start Gw. Prince, thanks for the 13 months. He says, would you sell Gakpo for -4 if you had Tavernier? Yeah, I guess you have to. Depends who else you've got to play, but based on Tavernier being out injured and Gakpo potentially benched, I have to caveat it as always. Like, the leaks are never 100%, but they have been reliable. Like last week, I named the full 11, and then it was exactly right. And I trust it enough to sell Gakpo, so I will be. Ben says Lefay, the Pens edge it. No comments on Van der Ven. I haven't seen that, and whether he's going to be left out or not. Do I start Krupi over Chalobah? No, I mean Krupi's got Liverpool. I would play Chalobah there. Xhaka or Rogers? Rogers. Let's have a look at the scout selection. Let us know how many players you've got. So they've gone Pickford, Gabriel. They've got Gabriel vice-captain. Chalobah, Gw, Palmer, Wirtz, Semenyo and Dye, Wilson, Haaland and Thiago. It's an annoyingly good team this week. I think they've got that basically spot on. Besides, obviously, Lefay's missing. Yeah, Palmer should be alright. Just 2. So for me, it'll be Gabriel. Oh, God. 3 for me. Heather's got 2. I've only got 3, actually. That's bad, because I just said that it's an annoyingly good team, and I've just realised I've only got 3. But I feel like some players are quite niche, aren't they? Like, and Dye and Gw. I feel like they're not going to be that high ownership. But Gw was I think he was the most owned Palace defender, wasn't he? So I guess the City defence effective ownership is about to go way up. So maybe that lends a bit of weight to starting O'Reilly as well. You got 4, you got 1. 5 surprisingly high for once, says Jack. 5 is great. Yeah, just Thiago, Haaland and Gabriel for me. Yeah, I mean, if you've got Wirtz, based on that leak, you give him the game for sure. And then sell in 24. 3 out of 11 for Dave. So if anyone missed it at the start, Rob TFPL posted this just before we went live. The final update on the market odds. And there's always a bit of movement when the odds always fluctuate throughout the week from the bookies. And Forest have gone up. Forest went down slightly. Bournemouth and Brentford went up slightly. But City went down massively. Huge. So the question is that because they've lost midweek? I guess it is at least that. But is it also because they've got some kind of early news and they're adjusting their odds based on that? Like, imagine they've got some kind of insider and they know Haaland's not going to play. Or Foden's not going to play or something like that. But maybe they're just reacting to like the recent form. This is Jump the Waves. If you're not following her, give her a follow. She's brilliant. She basically collates like fan predictions and then puts percentages next to names. So like, this surprised me and this makes me feel a bit more confident on O'Reilly. O'Reilly's 75%. Foden 50%. Cherky 50%. Haaland 88%. So I was looking at that and then I was also looking at FPL Mass's tweet. He's the #1 Man City predictor this season. He's also got O'Reilly starting with 8 Nori potentially right back, which he was in the Champions League. So, but he has got Foden starting. So, yeah, it's a nightmare this week. Octavian says, "Can you pick 2 out of Dorgu, Anderson, and Timber?" Definitely Anderson and Timber. No way you play Dorgu away at Arsenal. It's like the toughest possible fixture right now. I know he's just got 15 against City, but I'm going to go on the record and say he won't get 15 again. That could be famous last words, but I don't see it happening. I don't see him scoring and Man United keeping a clean sheet at the Emirates. 57% say start Mukiele, 43% Lefay. Is that because he's way higher ownership though? Is that some of you Mukiele owners are biased, or because Lefay's like 1%? When I bought him, he was 0.9, and he's 1.3 now, so he's barely gone up. So basically, no one's got Lefay. If any of you have got Lefay, shout out to my fellow Lefay owners. He won't even get 3 points. Yeah, I mean, maybe he gets DEFCON or something and concedes, but yeah, the Liverpool news that I've heard is that Gakpo doesn't start. So I'm going to sell him. I was already doing Foden to Enzo, but I'm also going to have to do Gakpo to Bruno. Good old Elf. Trust, what a player. He's getting a couple more starts for me. West Ham I'm starting, and Burnley have to start him. And then he drops the bench 25-26. Might start him in 27, Fulham home. Bench Cherky or Anderson. I would take the chance on Cherky starting and bench Anderson there. I think you'd be so pissed off, wouldn't you? If you bench Cherky, he starts against Wolves, and you'd predict him to do something against Wolves if he starts. So I would just go for a Cherky start there. City, I think City's so up in the air this week, and it's basically impossible to predict Pep. So I think I've been going mad trying to work out what to do. So earlier in the week I felt like Foden to Enzo is good just to remove that rotation risk from my team, and I think I'm just going to stick with what I said in the team selection video. So Foden to Enzo, Gakpo to Bruno. Let's check on Twitter. Any news? No. Timber's closing in on a new long-term contract. That is not relevant. No, nothing. I think I'm going to have to keep an eye on what others do, though, because like I was saying earlier, imagine some big accounts don't captain Haaland. I'm definitely captaining Haaland unless something comes out near the deadline. But if I see people not captaining Haaland, it's going to be so suspicious to me, because for me, he's by far the best captain this week. Morning, Lewis. How we doing, mate? It's just a risk that if he doesn't start. So I'm definitely captaining him, unless there's some news during the stream. Nah, not heard anything on Haaland. Sean, thank you for the 39 months. He says, morning, Focal. Is it viable to bench Arsenal defence? No, I wouldn't. I mean, I think they're second on the clean sheet odds this week. City are top, 48%. Arsenal, 38%. So, no, I personally wouldn't. Gakpo to Bruno Fernandes or Bruno G? Bruno Fernandes. Bruno G's got a knock. He might not even play, so... LL Sean says, headache, I'm playing a 3-5-2 with Virgil on the bench. Should I drop Anderson or Hall to bring him in? I think Virgil over Anderson. Where are Liverpool here? Liverpool 27%, Fulham 23%, so it's pretty close actually. I think I would start Van Dijk over Anderson. At least that's what I've done in my team, Sean. Is FPL Fan a reliable source? I've never seen him leaking news. What's he said? I've never seen him saying anything, but what's he said then? Why is he not coming up? I thought I was following Callum. Oh, you mean FPL Nacho? He's not wrote anything. No, I mean, what's he said? Is he streaming now? Anna, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. That's frozen. Let me refresh that. Yeah, thank you again, Anna. How to replace Grealish for 7 mil? I would say Enzo and then Ndai. Top 2 replacements for under 7 mil. Hi Oscar, how's Teddy this morning? He's great. He's still asleep on my lap. He's been asleep on my lap since the first minute of the stream, and he's still there. You think about Rodgers starting today? I mean, Rodgers starts every game. He'll never get benched. What's the reason for Virgil over Mukiele? I think that's really close. Really, really close, Callum. Like, similar clean sheet odds, similar DEFCON potential. Liverpool are the top team in the league over the last 6 for expected goals conceded, so I think I just back the better defence if nothing else. And I still think West Ham aren't down and out. You'd think they'd probably get relegated with Wolves and Burnley, but they're definitely still in with a fighting chance. And this is such a huge game that it would surprise me quite a bit actually if Sunderland kept a clean sheet away at West Ham. That's just my general feeling on that game, but he's always great for DEFCON and he does have the odd goal involvement, so I think Mukiele's really good for this week still. That's just my read on the 2 games. Obviously Bournemouth have got Tavernier out now, Semenyo's gone. How's the chocolate slab doing? He's good. Yeah, he's asleep on my lap. He might emerge later. Start and die versus Mukiele versus Alderete. You got to start and die, Beraders. Got to start and die. What's your transfer plans? So, I was doing Foden to Enzo, but I'm also going to do Gakpo to Bruno now, just based on Gakpo potentially benched again. I think it's going to be an unchanged team for Liverpool from the Champions League, in which case that would mean Gakpo doesn't start. So I'm confident enough in it to act on it, but as always, leaks can be wrong, but I'm comfortable enough to act on that. Like, they've sent enough teams and I've shared enough in these streams that I've never been wrong to feel confident enough to make that move, if that makes sense. Does Haaland start? I mean, my best guess is he does. So I've got him captain, because if he starts, I feel like he's by far the best captain. So I've got him captain on the assumption that he does. It's not guaranteed based on form. Like, he needs a rest. Like, Marmoush is back in the mix. And they should be able to get a result with Haaland on the bench. And maybe Pep sends a message. The more I think about it, the more I think he could be benched. But I'm not chancing it unless there's some leak during this stream within the next 45 minutes. If there's not, there's no way I'm taking the armband off Haaland. It wouldn't surprise me though if Pep shakes things up, because something's got to change. And also, did you guys catch that quote from Pep? He said, like, we're going to have to change the dynamic now. I thought that was a really interesting choice of words. What does that mean, to change the dynamic? What's he saying there? But then he did also say, I know what the problem is. And that's so vague, but to say I know what the problem is and then to change things sends maybe the wrong message to certain players. Like, if he says, I know what the problem is, and then he drops Cherky, it's like, well, that's a bit harsh. Like, he's saying Cherky is the problem. Or he drops Foden, or he drops Haaland. Yeah, I think this game week could be chaos. Best TAV replacements. I'd say Lefay. If you don't need to start them, Dewsbury Hall this week. But Garner's also great, to be fair, from Everton. He's more of the DEFCON guy, whereas Dewsbury Hall is the goal involvement guy. I would say Lefay, though. But it depends on your team rotations as well, because like Lefay's got Arsenal and Liverpool 25 and 26, where you need to have someone that you can start ahead of him. He'll put Haaland as CDM. Will says, I want to swap Tavernier and maybe Foden. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense if you can do both. It's hard to give advice this week because 24 is such a crucial week. And if you end up selling Tavernier, you know, for a Lefay, and you block yourself from getting Bruno for free in 24, then actually that's way worse than just playing someone off your bench for Tavernier this week, if that makes sense. 24 is the big week. Ibrahim says, hi Oscar, my team's in shambles right now and I'm going to wildcard in 24, but I need a 1 week punt midfielder for 7.4 mil. And Dye, Lafay, or do you have someone else in mind? How much is Semenyo? Oh, he's 7.7. That doesn't work. I'd say Ndai then. Yeah, I think Ndai's your best bet. Home to Leeds. Playing his best position on pens. Yeah, I would say Ndai. I think you're right there. Samuel, thank you for becoming a member as well. Thank you very much, Samuel. Anti Padino said Rice for 7.4. I prefer Ndai on a 1 week punt. Why am I ignoring all the Palmer questions? Not ignoring any questions on purpose. There's just so many, I can't answer them all. Like, it's not on purpose. But Rosinha said, like, I can't remember the exact wording, but it sounded like he's fine for this game. I think that because he's got this ongoing groin issue, I just think he's not going to play 3 games a week. So I think he's going to constantly keep missing the midweek Champions League games, and he starts on the weekend. Array says, love you. Love you too, Array. Yeah, I think Palmer's fine for the league games. I don't know if he's worth the money. Like, I'm more comfortable buying Enzo, but Palmer's fine. He's not a bad pick at all. Who's my vice captain? Well, it's on your screen. Saka. Right there. Didn't know you could hover over that. Dream team. Captain. Switch player. Nat the One, thank you for the 8 months. He says, start between Pope, Dubravka and Rogers O'Reilly. I would start Pope and I would start Rogers. Nova says, Virgil to Timber, Gordon / Foden to Bruno, Voltemada to Krupi. I probably wouldn't do the Virgil move, but I'll do the other two. Foden, yeah, I'll do the other 2 moves. Just I wouldn't sell Virgil, I don't think. Just in case you need that transfer for something more important in 24. Yeah, my brother's got Voltemada, and I suggested the same thing to him yesterday. I was like, you could go Voltemada to Krupi to free up money. Because I don't know if Voltemada starts. He's looked off it recently. Joshua says, what to do with Gakpo? So, Gakpo replacements. Enzo and Dye. If you've got the money to go to Bruno, then that's fine as well. But Enzo's great. When you look at Chelsea's next 5. Newcastle was so boring, no goals. I mean, Gordon owners have been so unlucky. Like, he keeps scoring in Europe and then nothing in the league. Bruno G's been scoring, to be fair. But yeah, I'm not looking at Visser or Voltemada when both are fit anyway. Vidat says, who's better for the next 6 game weeks, Saliba or Timber? Timber, definitely. Saliba, weirdly, has been shocking for Defcons, whereas Gabriel's been unbelievable. Why do you guys reckon that is? That's quite interesting. Like, Saliba, he's hit let me try and find it. So, if we go over here and go to Defcon Defenders preset. Yeah, we'll go Arsenal. Gabriel's hit Defcon in 33% of games. Saliba in 6%. And Gabriel's averaging 2.5 more Defcons per 90. This is the stats page on FPL.page, or the Focal app if you want to check it out. If anyone's not got the Focal app, FPL Focal in the App Store. The app's free. A few people saying Foden doesn't start. Is there some news I've missed there? Not seeing anything at the moment. Colourblind Engineer says Foden to Bruno, Truffer to Arali, Semenyo to Enzo. I like that Foden out. Truffer to Arali I don't like, and Semenyo out I definitely don't like. Semenyo will start this week and he'll start next week. Almost certainly. That'd be my prediction, so I wouldn't sell Semenyo before Wolves home. And O'Reilly's just such a rotation risk long term. I wouldn't buy him either because ain't Norrie's back in the mix. I think O'Reilly starts this week, either in left back or midfield. That's what he's got going for him. He can play two positions there. Okay, I don't think Ake goes left back. Nunes I think will still be out, so he either plays Lewis or Norrie right back. So I think O'Reilly's okay this week, but I definitely wouldn't be buying him. I'm looking to sell. So yeah, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't buy O'Reilly or Enzo this week for Truffer or Semenyo. I would leave that. You could sell Truffer, but I wouldn't buy O'Reilly basically. Shawano Sullivan, thank you very much for becoming a member as well. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Likewise to Harry and Samuel and Anna earlier, all becoming members. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate your support. Come on, we need City leagues. Mate, you and me both. Clean sheet and scoring odds. Goal scorer odds have got Haaland miles ahead. 1.05 projected goals. These odds assume the player starts, which is why Marmish is really high. I mean, it's not impossible actually Marmish and Haaland both start, but the odds assume they start. Same for Voltemada, he might not. Thiago's second actually. Gyökeres, yeah, obviously went by. Salah's up there, who we expect will start, but I don't know if I'd be buying Salah. This Jimenez is interesting for how cheap he is with Muniz out. And the clean sheet odds and team projected goals are there. So City top on both metrics this week. Flandy, thanks for the 45 months. He says, triple Arsenal defence or play Rodgers over Timber. Got Bruno. Yeah, you could actually hedge a little bit there and go Rodgers over Timber. I think that's fine. Timber will start, but yeah, I think Rodgers over Timber is actually quite nice this week, Flandy. When you've still got double Arsenal defence, that's still gain you rank if Arsenal keep a clean sheet. But you can spread your risk a little bit because Man United, I wouldn't be surprised if they did score. Which I hate to say because I'm on double defence, but yeah, I think you're right there, Flandy. I would go Rodgers. Are you rolling? I'm not. So my plan since Wednesday was Foden to Enzo, but now I've heard a reliable rumour Gakpo doesn't start, so I'm also going to do Gakpo to Bruno. 2 transfers. I've got 3, so I'll roll 1 into Gameweek 24. So yeah, I'll just run through it here. So it will be Foden Enzo, Gakpo Bruno, and then what I could do in 24, I'm not definitely set on this, but I could do Ekatike down to Krupi, and I finally get rid of Bar from Bumo because Bar was never playing, whereas Krupi actually is, so that's an upgrade in 2 positions. Ekatike to Mbumo for me is an upgrade now at this point. I'm done with Ekatike after this game. So that'll be nice because Mbumo will have Fulham home. I mean, Krupi, I think I'd have to bench him against Wolves, which isn't great. Or I could bench Thiago at Villa away. I really like Krupi though. I think he's better than Mane. This week has got Foden hat-trick written all over it off the bench. I mean, if that happens, I give up. Mane doubles in 26. Yeah, but it's such an awful double if it happens. They would have... it's Arsenal away, isn't it? 20... Arsenal home. And Forest away, is it? I mean, Arsenal home and Forest away is a horrendous double. I guess you could get 4 points from Mane, but I think Krupi's better. So that's what I could do in 24. I've got 0.4 mil wiggle room, you can see just up there. So I should be okay. Could there be that many price changes? I think in theory I'd be alright. I hope I don't have to go early, like when there's still Champions League games or something. But in theory those moves look really good. But I'm going to wait a bit longer as always. I always make my moves as near to the deadline as possible, just in case there's some last minute news or anything surprising. At the moment, there's not. The only news we've had is Liverpool. And I trust it enough to make a move based on it. Gakpo not starting. Again, like, if any of you act on that and it's wrong, like, I can only apologise. But for me, like, it's enough for me to make the move. And I've posted it on Instagram as well, so I'll put it everywhere I can, and I'll put it on my post when I do my team, so that, you know, everyone's got every chance to see it. Faisal says, what do you think of Cunha to Bruno and O'Reilly to Alderete? Yeah, I like that. That's good. Because Cunha might not even start again, so I would do it, Faisal. The only thing you could consider is whether you can do Enzo first and then Bruno in 24, but that might not work. Otherwise, go for it. I am whoever. Thanks for the 15 months. Says, hi Oscar. Start 2. Chow, Mukiele, Anderson. Anderson. I would start. Who have Forest got again? Brentford. I'd start Mukiele. I think I'd start Chow. It's really close between Chow and Anderson. Forest Anderson. Yeah, I'd say Chow and Anderson. No, sorry. Chow Mukiele. Like with Anderson from Forest, there's a small chance of a goal involvement, but it's really DEFCON. Whereas with the defenders, it's clean sheet and DEFCON. So I think they might be marginally better, if that makes any sense. Pratik, thank you for the 35 months as well. Hello, should I take out Ekitike? If yes, for who? I'm giving him one more week. Like, I've got him and I'm not selling him. One more week. If you haven't got Thiago, then you could do Ekitike to Thiago. The fixtures do kind of suck from 24, but I would give him one more week. Paul, thank you very much as well for becoming a member. Thank you for your support, Paul. Welcome to all the new members. Rocket says, transfer in Palmer for Cunha, or is it too risky? For me, I prefer Enzo to Palmer, unless maybe you've got Enzo already. Because if you look at all the players you can afford when you don't go Palmer, I just think it's way better. Like, I could have this team in 24, which to me just looks way better than going... So what... It'd have to be Palmer instead of... No, I can't afford that. I'd have to go Palmer instead of Enzo. And I couldn't have Mbeumo. I just think the combinations are better with Enzo. Palmer's great though, like, he's not a bad asset. Struggling with this game says, hi mate, my transfer plans are similar to yours, but I don't want to sell Foden before Wolves. I can't afford Gakpo to Bruno one move, so thoughts on Gakpo to Mbeumo Enzo or a sneaky Semenyo punt? Yeah, that's fair enough. I would say Gakpo to Enzo then. I prefer Enzo to Mbeumo. And then you could look at Bruno in 24. Yeah, that's fine. Most transfer players this week is Bruno. 647,000 buying Bruno. Then it's Thiago, 329,000. Semenyo third. Enzo, Mbeumo. Rice, Chalobah, Gabriel, Dorgu, Wirtz, Wilson, Mukiele. Most sold is Foden, 706,000 selling Foden. 334,000 selling Gueye, Bruno G, Roger, Saka, Cherky, Voltamada, Cunha, O'Reilly, Mateus, Ekitike. Interesting. What transfers is everyone making or made already? Let us know in chat. Razan, thanks for the 36 months. Do I start Cherky over Rogers? Foden, Semenyo, worth it? I probably wouldn't buy a Semenyo. I'd rather do Foden to Enzo or Ndai. I just think longer term they're better than Semenyo. You're rolling. Saka to Bruno, Gueye to Chalobah. Selling Saka. I still believe in Saka. I might be deluded at this point, but I still believe in him. Bruno G to Ndai, that's nice. I would start Cherky, Razan. I prefer Enzo. or in die, but it's close, but just about as longer term picks. Mark says, good morning everyone, go Oscar, any City news, who starts / plays, more minutes between Cherky and Foden, good luck to you all. It's such a coin toss this week, Cherky and Foden. If you go on my Twitter, I posted a thread like a few days ago on my thoughts on Foden and why I'm selling him, and I was going through the City forums last night looking at the fan predictions, but the problem is there's a difference between predictions and what fans actually want, and very, very few fans had Foden starting, which I thought was really interesting, but that could be what they want rather than what they predict, because there were one or two that actually said, I think Pep's going to stick with all his favourites. So what fans want versus what Pep will do are two different things, but Foden was mentioned very, very little. And I even asked Gemini to do a deep research and go through all 20 pages in the thread and provide me with a table of how many times each player appears in the predicted lineups. And Foden was unbelievably low, to the point where I was like, wow. So it's 50-50. I'd start Cherky, I think. Start Cherky over Foden. Chef says, sorry, thank you for becoming a member, Chef. And likewise, Nathan. Thank you both. It's one of those weeks, like, if I get it completely wrong, then I'm sorry, because it's such a swingy week, potentially. But I decided days ago on the team selection video, like, I'm doing Foden to Enzo, so I'm sticking with that, just to remove that risk from my team. And I think in theory, if they both start, Enzo's not significantly worse than Foden. I know Gemini. It's not Gemini's knowledge. I asked it to go through all the pages and do the deep research. I'm not saying I asked AI for its opinion. I asked it to go based on what the fans were predicting on that thread, and there was 20 pages of predictions. Probably one of the nerdiest things I've ever done. / pathetic for FPL purposes, but it just entered my mind. I was like, what if I could ask it to do the deep research and do all the analysis for me? And then I got it to, and I thought it was quite interesting, the results there. Maybe that'll be the next edge in FPL. No one's going to go through 20 pages of predictions manually, are they? But you could just tell Gemini or ChatGPT, go through and give me all the analysis. AI haters started typing that without even listening. Yeah, so it's not, I was asking it for its opinion. Like, I think it's really dodgy to ask AI, do you think this player will start? But what I asked it to do was to go through those 20 pages of fan predictions and tell me what's in that thread, not what it thinks, what is factually in that thread. So yeah, thank you again, Nathan and Chef. Steve says Foden to Verts or roll. I wouldn't buy Verts personally. I'd rather Enzo or Bruno or Ndai. Start 2, bench 2, Dango, Xhaka, Alderete, Anderson. I'd start Dango and Alderete. That's what AI is good for, honestly. I mean, yeah, that would have been like 3 hours of work, and it took it 5 minutes. Now, FPL Citizens is not reliable. I mean, Foden could be benched, but he's not reliable. Like, I've got him blocked because he's been caught making news up before and then just deletes the tweet. Nick says, Riot, Alderete, Gabriel, Anderson, Saka, Wilson, Rogers, Enzo, Bruno Fernandes, Haaland, Thiago, bench. And your bench is DCL, O'Reilly. If O'Reilly start leak, who to bench? If there's a leak, then I would drop Anderson out. I'd start Alderete still. No, I'd drop Alderete out. Yeah, I'd leave Anderson in. Nice team, looks good. You're well set up as well for 24 and beyond. HF FPL, thank you for the 9 months. Says, hey Oscar, bench one out of Chow or Alderete, thanks. I would bench Alderete, play Chow with a home fixture. J Rook says, who would you do Rogers to Enzo? No, I quite like Villa's fixtures, so I wouldn't do that, no. I would keep hold of Rogers if you've got him at this point. They've got some really nice home fixtures coming up as well, so I've only just thought to ask now, but if you guys aren't subscribed, 30% of you aren't, so hit subscribe below your stream right now if you're enjoying the stream, if you're finding it useful. If there's any more leaks before the deadline, then I'll let you guys know immediately. As it stands, the only thing we've heard is Liverpool news. And based on that, I'm selling Gakpo, who's the worst punt of all time. I bought him for Burnley home, blanked, selling straight away. It is what it is. That's FPL. I should have just gone straight to Enzo, and I would have been on more points and a transfer better off, but never mind. ChatGPT says Foden won't start, but KDB will. There you go, guys. You heard it. Leaked. I captained Zobasai last week. What could have been? That's so unlucky. It's so annoying when one kick of a ball like that can decide your game week. Because if he scores that, he gets the 5 points for the goal, so that's 10. He gets probably bonus points. So he ends up on, you know, he could have got like 18 points for him instead of 0. It's just stuff like that. You just have to recognise it's such a game of luck and chance, FPL. Kolarov confirmed starting. No, FPL's Citizens is not reliable. Grok says Aguero is going to be benched. Oh, that's annoying. I'll have to sell him. Gonna have to sell Aguero. Who do I captain instead? Tevez benched. Yeah, it's just one of those games. It's such a game of chance. Like I've definitely sympathised because I had Lefay when he missed that penalty. I didn't captain him, but it's still so frustrating because he was 1% owned. Like the gains you make off a 1% owned player scoring is so massive, and then you end up getting 0 points, and that means everyone else gains points on you because they wouldn't have had anyone that scored 0. Let me take the Aguero off before I accidentally tweet my team with Aguero in it, and people are like, "What? What's Focal smoking?" Rocket says triple captain Haaland. No way. Save it for a double game week, let alone in a week like this where people are speculating if he even starts or not. Nah. Save it for a double. I mean, if Arsenal get that double game week in 26, who would you guys captain? Would you captain Gabriel or Saka or Rice or what? I made a graphic here. I'll just put it up on screen as a refresher for anyone that hasn't seen it or isn't aware of the probable double in 26, which is that. Arsenal would have Brentford away, Wolves away. So who would you captain, guys? Would you go Gabriel or would you go bigger upside Saka? Wolves would have Forest away, Arsenal home. So it depends, first of all, on Arsenal beating Chelsea in the League Cup. They're winning after the first leg. Newcastle, Sunderland, Everton and Chelsea have a chance as well, but less likely. You go captain Rice. Gabriel, Raya. I mean, that'd be a crazy double game week. What would be the best Arsenal triple up for that? I think it has to be double defence and then one of Saka or Rice. Gabriel captain. That's I mean, do you triple captain Gabriel for that even? That's such a like if he keeps a clean sheet in both games. Imagine he keeps a clean sheet both games and scores in one. So that would be 15. You'd get 21 points, so you'd get 63 points if he was to keep a clean sheet in both and score in one. You'd get 63 points from Gabriel triple captain. Doesn't feel that unlikely with those two either for him to clean sheet in both, but anyway. Let's see if there's any news. I'll keep checking. I know lots of you literally don't care about anything I'm saying right now and you just want leaks, but I don't know if we'll get anything more. There's some Liverpool news in the bottom left corner of your screen, but City, nothing at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it could go down to the wire, this one. Right, let me catch up on chat. Vibav says 3 free transfers, 0.7 mil on the bank. Sanchez, Van Dijk, Gabriel Guay, Mukiele, Keane. Okay, bring in Enzo, Thiago, and Mbumo or roll. I would. Well, I'm doing Foden to Enzo, so I would do that if I were you. That one's really down to opinion, though, isn't it? Like, if you think Foden starts, you definitely don't sell. I just don't like the uncertainty, and I said the same thing on Wednesday's video. So I'm just going to remove some of that uncertainty from my team. So that's what I would do if I were you. Sony says, "Hi Oscar, great content. I read from a reliable source that subscribing to FPL Focal grants you a green arrow this week." I've had the same news as well, and I think it's reliable. But yeah, you heard Sony. If you want to lock in a green arrow this week, then hit subscribe. You have to just read the small print though. The green arrow is actually not guaranteed, but it increases your chances. Strike says bench 1 out of Enzo and die Foden and O'Reilly. It's Foden or O'Reilly. I definitely don't bench Enzo or die. You can't bench Foden over O'Reilly, really, can you? I would start Foden. It's between those two. Focal's rank, I'm jealous, yo. I mean, 54, yeah, I've got to take that at this stage. Colo Torre starts. It's been a weird season. Like 54k, I'm really happy with it at this stage. But I've actually had 6 missed penalties this season. Bruno's missed 2 for me. Semenyo's missed 1. Thiago's missed 1. The Faye's missed 1. Last game I missed out on Gakpo's assist points because Zoboslai's missed 1. Someone worked it out for me on Twitter last week or the week before, and I've lost 52 points from missed penalties. So I don't know where I would be in the rankings. Obviously, those aren't pure gains. Other people have had those players that I've had that have missed pens, but minus 52 on missed pens is crazy. I think normally I have like maybe 2 missed pens the whole season, let alone 6 at the halfway mark. I'd be top 10k if I'd gone Bruno G over Gordon. That again, that's such a brutal swing. Right, 17 min still deadline. So why am I... I said earlier, like, what if some people start taking the captaincy of Haaland on Twitter? Like, what do you do? Because I promise you, I have no idea if Haaland starts. And it could just be like a really risky play. But what... Like, I'm seeing someone here that's not captaining Haaland. They've gone Ekitike of Haaland Vice. I don't know what I'd need to see to take the captaincy off Haaland. I'd need to see a lot more people not doing it. But unless there's news or everyone's randomly taking the armband off Haaland, I'm sticking with Haaland 100%. We'll do a poll in a second on let's do one now on like the City players and whether they start or benched. So let's do Haaland. Starts, bench. Poll is up. Right, I'll be back in literally 2 seconds. I smashed the tea down before going live because, like I said, I'm knackered this morning. I didn't sleep very well. So, quick toilet and then I'll be back. Cat's back. I'm back. And yes, I washed my hands. I think I just got my AirPods though. Right. 76% Haaland starts, 24% Haaland doesn't. Alright, next one, Foden, and then we'll do Turkey. Next one is up. Get your votes in. Joel Thompson, thank you very much for your super chat. And Twitch says start 2, bench 2. Bruno, Wilson, Cash and Kroupy. Start Bruno, start Wilson, bench Cash and Kroupy. Twitch Hardo. FPL Cat Lady says, can you fix my team? I've got 5 free transfers, same team as yours except Gabriel's Timber, Gakpo is Cunha, Lefebvre's Bruno G, Bar is Potts, Thiago is Gw. So Foden to Enzo, Cunha to Bruno. I'm not sure. I think I'll just do that. Yeah, just do that and start Mukiele. Yeah, I hope that helps. So Foden, 51% bench, 49% starts. Alright, Cherky next. So that's genuinely 50-50. And that's the same thing, by the way, that's on the Jump the Wave predictions. It's like 50-50 there on Cherky and Foden. Oh, Cat's back, apparently. I don't know if you can see that all, but O'Reilly's 75%, so that's good. Where are they? Yeah. Foden 50%, Cherky 50% there. Alright, let's have a refresh on Twitter. Get your votes in on that, what you think is going to happen with Cherky. City down to 2.36 projected goals since this morning's update. Something fishy is going on here. Mate, what? Look at this. So, remember earlier in the stream I was saying City have gone down minus 0.25 goals, which is a massive movement in the bookies' odds. And it could have just been based on that midweek result. So, 2.53 projected goals for Man City. That's gone down again to 2.36 since this morning's update. That's a huge drop in the space of a morning. Oh god, Haaland's not going to start or something, isn't he? Rodgers or Foden to Bruno. I'd do Foden out. I don't know if it's enough to not captain Haaland though. It's 2.78. So it's 2.78 and it's gone down to 2.36. So they've lost 0.5 in the space of a few days. I did do it, Cat Lady. I said Gakpo to Enzo, Cunha to Bruno, and play Mukiele over Bruno G. Start Bruno G, and I guess if he doesn't play, then you'll get Mukiele off your bench. Oh, that's such a massive drop in the odds. Someone's getting benched. Haaland and Foden are not starting. Oh my god. Haaland and Foden are not starting. Right, let me chuck that down there as well. Look, we could do a graphic as well. So benched. Oh my god, Foden. Right. I'll quote tweet it so you can find it on Twitter if you want. Nine minutes till the deadline. Right, who do I captain then? Oh my god. Who's everyone captaining? New captain poll. Haaland doesn't start. Foden doesn't start. I'm selling Foden in a sec. Oh. Right, let me sort my bench out. I can't sell Haaland. But I'm... This is... Oh my god. So... I'm doing Foden to Enzo, Gakpo to Bruno, and I'm benching Haaland. It's from Lazy FPL, and they are reliable. So I think Saka captain, Thiago vice. Oh my god. I'll post it on Twitter as well. Sorry, on Instagram for people over there. Right. What's everyone doing then? I'm going to get rid of Gakpo. Let me do that right now. I was doing that anyway. This is hectic. So there's Foden to Enzo. Gakpo to Bruno. Oh, thank God I've got 0.1 million. Cat Lady, I don't know if you heard me. I did say I responded. So I would do Gakpo to Bruno, and I would do Foden to Enzo. I did say twice. I don't know if you can hear me, but I did answer your question. Sorry for the super chats. Bear with me. I just need to make my transfers. So Gakpo to Bruno, Foden to Enzo. Confirm. Haaland bench. Why's my captain gone Mukiele? So I think it has to be Saka, doesn't it? Right, updated captain poll. Let's see who the best captain is now. Saka, Thiago. Who's your captain? Saka, Thiago, Semenyo, and other. So, message in chat. We'll have to pause super chats now because I don't want to leave anyone unanswered. Hincapié to Chalobah or Timber. I have Gabriel and Raya. I would say Chalobah just to leave the Arsenal slot open. Bench boost on Dubravka, Collins, Van Heck, Anderson. I would save the bench boost for a double. Captain Ekatike or Rice. Oh, Ekatike people are going. Yeah, fair enough. In a way, that's kind of annoying that's come out because I was selling Foden. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd made a good call on that, but now everyone's going to sell him or bench him, aren't they? That would have been a really massive edge this week, but never mind. It is what it is. So there's any other leaks. So yeah, Lazy FPL said Haaland and Foden don't start. And the leak I had was that Liverpool are unchanged from their Champions League game. So that would mean no Gakpo, but it would mean Ekatike, Szoboszlai, Wirtz and Salah do start if anyone's considering Ekatike captain. So we've tracked everything perfectly. So if you appreciate all the leaks and tracking it all, then hit subscribe below. Hopefully we can all actually benefit. As always, leaks don't guarantee you points. Like, there's been so many occasions, and I said this a few weeks ago, and I can't remember what happened, but it ended up not working. Oh, it was there was that Cunha leak, wasn't there? Cunha wasn't starting, and he comes off the bench and gets an assist. And I saw them for Gakpo, who blanked against Burnley. Right, captain, I think that's right. So Saka captain, Thiago vice. What's the poll saying? Thiago's leading 35%, Saka 26%, Semenyo 16% and other 23%. Ekatike captain. Captain Barry. I think it's so close between Saka and Thiago, I think. But I think my gut is telling me Saka. Yeah. Alright, let me post my team. I can't believe that. So I'm benching Haaland behind Anderson. Imagine someone like... And this is the brutal thing, by the way. There's people in time zones that are going to miss all the leagues. And they're going to wake up and be like, why has he got Haaland second on his bench? Anyway, Gameweek 23. Foden to Enzo, Gakpo to Bruno. Mukiele versus Anderson. I think that's right. Mad stream. I had this feeling this morning when I woke up it's going to be a mad one. I ended up getting the Liverpool news and we ended up getting the City news. So we've got both boxes ticked there. So I hope that helps you guys out. Start O'Reilly or James? I mean, they're both rotation risks, aren't they? Probably James. James is probably likely there. Start James. Wildcard 24. So Foden for Wilson or Enzo for a 1 week punt. Maybe Ndiaye is the best 1 week punt. He's got lead time. He's on pens. I haven't got enough time to think about captaincy, but I think Saka was my initial instinct there. And Thiago vice captain, but that's quite a close one because Thiago's been superb. I don't think I'll captain Enzo. Captain Gabriel, yeah, I mean fair enough. He's got the highest floor of every player in the league. Start Alderete or Haaland. Alderete, I can't believe my answer to that, but based on the leaks, you bench Haaland. You have to, based on that leak. Like, they're reliable, lazy FPL. So yeah, I've done Foden to Enzo, Gakpo to Bruno, and I've benched Haaland behind Anderson's second on the bench. Never thought I'd see the day. You started Haaland anyway. I mean, that's the thing. He could come off the bench and score. He just said the same thing. That could absolutely happen. Let me refresh and make sure that's saved. Yeah, Saka vice. I've not had enough time to properly analyse Saka captaincy. I just didn't see the Haaland benching. I could see the Foden benching, and it is a bit annoying that that's been leaked because I had to read on that perfect. I said on Wednesday in the team selection video, Foden to Enzo. And that would have been huge if there wasn't a leak on that. But that's the way it goes. Sometimes it goes against you. But still, like the fact that you guys are here and have caught that is massive because that could be huge gains. Let's hope so. I have to just now hope that O'Reilly starts. What a stream. Before you all go, do hit subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed it. Stressful as always, but we do like a stressful stream where we're on the edge of our seat. Is there anyone that we can raid, or should we wrap up right there? Cinema. Literally. Mate, what a game week. Who's live? What transfers did everyone do in the end, and who did you captain? I'll stick around for a few minutes. If anyone's got any post-deadline questions, chuck them in the chat. So yeah, the leaks were Zobasai, Salah, Ekatike, Avert start, and Gakpo, Foden, Haaland don't. is what we're expecting. We'll have to see. They can be wrong. Stuff can change. You never know. This could be the week where they're trying to plug the leak and they just put out some bait news, but it wouldn't be that surprising. Did Foden to Bruno. Foden to Enzo. Nice. Lafay in. Palmer captain. Love it. Thank you, Ash. Foden to Semenyo. Semenyo looks great this week. Captain poll ended up with Thiago top 32%, Saka 27%, Semenyo 17%, 23% other. So who was the other? Ekatike? You went Rice captain. Yeah, Guay will start. I'm expecting that. Absolute cinema. No, I probably won't do a watch along. But they play at 3 o'clock anyway, so I can't watch along. Verts, you brought Verts in. Ekatike captain. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think we'll wrap up there. That was a mad stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Cereal or milk? First. Cereal first, milk on top. What? That's like, it's like squash, isn't it? Surely when you're making a glass of squash, you start with the squash and then dilute it with water. You don't do water first. Finally, some action. I was bored of just captaining Haaland. Can't believe it. I've just tuned in and I've just missed the leaks. Toast with jam and butter or just jam? Yeah, butter and jam. Mad deadline. Hope you enjoyed it. Absolute cinema, that. Let's wrap it up there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you as always for tuning into this stream. Well, you could have picked any stream, but you chose this one. So I hope you'll smash it this week. Sorry as always for unanswered questions. If you haven't got the Focal app, that's FPL Focal in the App Store. And there's a link in the description for that. Likewise, the Focal League. But we'll wrap it up there. Good luck everyone this game week. I'll be back tomorrow with transfer plans and the usual content that next week. That's it from me. Focal out.
De Bruyne's corner out.